Brock Purdy has become the new poster child of the Game Manager Quarterbacks Club. Today we'll figure out why, and if that title is even deserving. First, let's start why this term is so popular. This label is given to quarterbacks who are seen as less physically gifted and thrive from being a product of a system. For example, if you place another player in their spot with equal or more talent, there shouldn't be any drop-off. Are you following me? Do you agree with this? Let me know how you feel about this in the comments below. Okay, so going off the eye test, Brock's height at the combine was 6 feet and 5'8" inches. He weighed in at 212 pounds, he ran a 4.84 40, a 4.45 short shuttle, and had a 27-inch vertical. All very average measurements. One issue I think people have when judging Brock is that he appears very regular. The media has done this as well by highlighting his life off the field, living with roommates, driving an old car, working on the farm, which makes for a great storyline, but doesn't quite bolster you as a star. On 24/7 Sports, Purdy ranked as a 3-star quarterback while in high school and received offers from Iowa State, Alabama, Boise State, Texas A&M, and UCF. It has been stated that none of these offers came until late in the process. Even after winning the Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Arizona by throwing for 4,405 yards and 57 touchdowns and running for over 1,000 yards his senior season, Purdy still had no Power 5 offers. That year capped off a highly productive high school career that included 8,932 yards passing with 107 touchdowns and 2,367 yards rushing and 20 touchdowns after starting for 3 seasons at Perry High School in Gilbert, Arizona. Even though Brock had to wait, the offers came, and he decided to attend Iowa State University. Entering his freshman season as a third quarterback on the depth chart, no one expected much from him, especially early, but he was thrown into action after injury and lackluster play. Starting 8 games as a freshman allowed him to get comfortable and be the leader of the program for the next 3 seasons. While at Iowa State, Purdy never put up home run numbers, while leading middle-of-the-pack teams with records of 6-2, 7-2, 9-3, and 7-6. But he did find ways to make plays, and his completion rate averaged at 67% through his college career, with his senior season being his best at 71%. During his time in Ames, Iowa, Purdy was named All-Big 12 3 times and broke 32 school records. The one that stood out the most was having thrown for over 300 yards 14 times in his career, which nearly tripled the previous record of 5. When the 2022 NFL Draft came, the quarterback position was not a strong point. There were 9 selected, with only 1 being in the first round, and Purdy being selected last of the group. Brock Purdy was drafted pick number 262 in the 7th round, earning the title of Mr. Irrelevant, which makes his story even more ironic. The irony of an NFL franchise missing on the 3rd pick of a draft, then hitting on the very last pick the following year is quite amazing, especially when you factor in the 49ers weren't even aware of this mistake. It just sort of fell into place naturally. In similar fashion as his beginning at Iowa State, the 2022 season came, and Brock Purdy was number 3 on the depth chart, behind starter Trey and his backup Jimmy Garoppolo. The quarterback position in San Fran was supposed to be cemented. Change came quickly, with Lance breaking his ankle in week 2 after having a slow start in week 1. The keys were passed to Jimmy G, and he led them to a 7-4 record before injuring his foot. At the start of the season, no one could have predicted what would happen next. The most irrelevant person in the league was about to catch fire. Entering a tie ball game on December 4th, 2022, the 3-star quarterback from Gilbert, Arizona never looked out of place. Outdueling Tua, a former 5-star quarterback, Purdy earned a win in his first competitive game action. At the moment, no one knew what would be next for the 49ers, who were clearly in win-now mode after trading for Christian McCaffrey a few weeks prior. But what we found out was Purdy was ready for his opportunity. Winning 6 regular season games in a row, followed by 2 playoff wins before getting injured in the first quarter of the NFC Championship game, proved he was ready, and also instantly efficient. How did this happen? Was it through skill, luck, or design of the offense? Maybe it is a system. Before Jimmy G got hurt, he had 2,437 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, and completed 67% of his passes in 11 games. Brock finished the season for the Niners playing in 9 games. He had 1,374 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, and also completed 67% of his passes as well. Jimmy averaged 221 yards a game, while Brock averaged 152. Here's where numbers, analytics, and conspiracy go haywire. Brock Purdy's story is that he fell into a perfect spot that's being run by an offensive mastermind, and that he has weapons all around him, which is all sort of true. But what sets him apart is that everything clicks when he's running the show. To really figure this out, let's rewind it back some. In 2019, the 49ers came back to life. and made a great turnaround from previous years. This is where the run started to begin. The star cast that we see preparing for Super Bowl LVIII started assembling this year. The draft class featured Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuels, Mitch Wishnowsky, and Dre Greenlaw. Greg Kittle was entering year 3, and Jimmy G had the keys to the car. Kyle Shanahan has a proven track record of getting creative with the pieces available to him. He parlayed that skill during 2019 into a Super Bowl season that seemed to come out of nowhere. This gave him a seat at the winner's table as a head coach for the first time. Since that moment, there's been an eagerness to return and win the title. This can be seen with how progressive the franchise was moving on from Jimmy Garoppolo after losing the conference championship game against the Rams during the 2021 season. The entire organization could feel how close they were to winning a title, and that they had an open window, and they wanted to take advantage of this while they were still hot. These moments don't happen often in sports. They were also prepared for this moment by drafting Trey Lance, who they felt could bring more to the table than Garoppolo. Lance was highly touted out of North Dakota State, after only playing in one full season and a season that consisted only of one game during the COVID-riddled 2020 college football season. His athleticism and arm strength were supposed to be the missing piece to an offense that was being curated to score points and confuse defenses. We didn't see much of Trey in the 49ers jersey, but what we did see never confirmed that he was actually a fit. There was no spark. Even while healthy, Lance was mediocre at best and looked as if he was an experiment. And the last thing the team from the Bay Area wanted was an unproven experiment, especially after witnessing how fast Purdy caught his stride when he was given his opportunity, going undefeated in every game he finished during the 2022 season. Lance was traded to Dallas before the start of the 2023 regular season. Brock Purdy entered the 2023 season facing more questions than any season of his football life. Was he going to bounce back from a torn UCL in his throwing arm? Could he regain the momentum he carried all throughout 2022? Would he avoid having a sophomore slump? Is he a system quarterback? Once again, all answers are yes. Brock picked up right where he left off, winning the first 5 games of the season, showing no signs of being limited after tearing the ligament in his throwing elbow. In his first full season as an NFL starting quarterback, he finished 5th in passing yards, 2nd in completion percentage, 3rd in passing touchdowns, and 1st in touchdown percentage, all while leading his team to the Super Bowl. So, is Brock Purdy a game manager? Yes. Is he a system quarterback? Yes. Is he a playmaker? Yes, but in an untraditional way. His playmaking isn't attributed to his physical ability. He is a playmaker through his decisions on the field, a trait that is not tested for through any draft process. It's a special field that winners have. We saw samples of Jimmy G and Trey Lance in the same offense with the same weapons, but the same magic was not there. Whatever you want to call Brock Purdy, just put some respect on it, because every team in the NFL wishes they had a quarterback who could manage them into position to win a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how it looks, as long as the result is a W. And even if the 49ers win the Super Bowl, this conversation will probably continue and the facts will be overlooked for opinions. But that's what makes the game fun, right? In my eyes, Brock is a game manager. And at this moment, he's an elite one, which makes him a weapon. If you removed him from the 49ers, I don't believe the same success would be had. This is a lot of fuss for someone who was deemed irrelevant. If you made it this far, you should click the next video and learn why the other starting quarterback in Super Bowl LVIII, Patrick Mahomes, is on a playoff run like we've never seen before. Well, maybe one time before. Thank you.